and welcome to Smaulgld's Russian gold reserve update for the month of June 2018. Russian gold reserves climbed another 500,000 ounces as U.S. Treasury holdings fall. Russian central bank gold reserves rose to nearly 1,944 tons in June. Russia now has the fifth largest gold reserves in the world. They achieved this by adding another 500,000 ounces of gold, or 15.55 tons of gold, to reserves. Last year, 2017, Russia added 224 tons of gold. And since June 2015, the Central Bank of Russia has added over 646 tons of gold to reserves. Overall Russian reserves rose just a bit from 456 billion in May to 456 and change in billion in June. Russian U.S. Treasury holdings fell again in May to 14.9 billion, down from 48.1 billion in April and down from about 96 billion as recently as March. Gold reserves, however, in dollar terms have fallen to 78.167 billion due to the decline in the price of gold, but they still constitute 17.11% of overall Russian foreign reserves. So the gap between the Central Bank of Russia's gold reserves and the U.S. Treasury holdings widened in May. Russian gold reserves had exceeded the value of the U.S. Treasury holdings for the first time in April. And let's take a look at the chart that shows that. All right, here you have in the red the U.S. Treasury holdings held by Russia. There was this big story, Russia's dumping treasuries all through 2016-17. It wasn't true, you can see. They're actually increasing their treasury holdings and holding them steadily. It wasn't until April that it was reported they actually did dump treasuries, and again in May dumping them further. But before then, you can see this is the gold value in nominal dollar terms was always lower than their U.S. Treasury holdings for the longest time. It was only until April, when their Treasury holdings fell to 48.7 billion, that their gold reserves of 81 billion exceeded their treasuries. And of course now, as of May, their gold reserves well exceed their treasury reserves of 14.9 billion. So we are seeing a divergence now. And also, right now, Russia has no further, really, that many more treasuries to sell. There's not any damage they can inflict on the U.S. by selling more treasuries. But this is a big drop here. This is significant. But again, Russia's overall reserves are 460 billion, so their percentage of U.S. Treasury they hold is low. What we don't know, and I haven't been able to dig through, and I'll probably try to do this later today, is how many actual dollars they hold. They may not be holding treasuries, but I guarantee you they're holding a significant amount of dollars. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, Russia's been on this gold buying binge for quite some time. Let's take a look at the chart here. Pretty much since 2006, they've been a net purchaser of gold. You can see the run up here to the financial crisis, and 176 tons of gold added in 2010. And it's really been since 2014, 15, 16, and 17 that they've ramped up their gold purchases. Now, through June, they have added over 100 tons, I think 105 tons of gold. So they're on track again to add about 200 tons of gold to their reserves. You can see they're at 1944 all in. 105.751 tons of gold have been added in the first 6 months of 2016. Do a quick calculation back of the envelope. That's about 211 tons that they will add. Slightly less than the 224, but they're not going to average the same amount. So probably safe to say Russia will add 200 tons plus of gold to reserves in 2018. If you're interested in adding gold to your own reserves, you can do so through the links below this BitChute, below this YouTube, and also on the Smaulgld site. At the affiliate links, Golden Eagle Coins, SD Bullion, Money Metals Exchange. If you click on those links, you'll be taken to the website. You'll pay no more, no less than if you visited those sites directly, and Smaulgld will get a small commission, so you can help the site out that way. It's not investment advice to buy gold, silver, or any other precious metal, but if you're going to do so, please consider shopping at those sites, comparing pricing and shipping, and making your order there. All right, what else do we have here? Well, here's a chart showing, by the way, you can see all these charts much better on the Smaulgld site than looking at them on your screen through a YouTube. But you can see monthly, these are the amounts that Russia has added in terms of ounces. Many months over 500,000 ounces, 500,000 ounces there. Many months of that. A few months over 1 million ounces. And they've added about 28 million ounces, or about 865 tons, just over the last 3 years, from June 2014 to June 2018. Now, where does Russia get all this gold? They get it from their own reserves, but first let's take a look at their own mining production. Let's take a look at Russia versus China. These are the central banks. Russia has been adding gold at a much faster pace than the Central Bank of China, or the People's Bank of China. Indeed, the People's Bank of China is not reporting adding any gold since October 2016. That doesn't mean there's not gold demand in China. It doesn't even mean that the government of China isn't adding gold. It means they're not putting it on the People's Bank of China's balance sheet. There's always been a lot of confusion over this. China's lying, Sun Tzu, all this other nonsense. It's not. The People's Bank of China has actually shed reserves over the last couple of years. They lost $1 trillion in reserves from 2016, 17, and 18. And so they're just not adding gold to the People's Bank of China. Now, let's take a look at where Russia gets gold. Well, Russia is the third largest gold producer in the world, and it's no surprise that if you look at the amount of gold production each year in the blue, that they add a significant amount of that gold right back into the Central Bank of the Federation of Russia. And you can see in 2017, just about all the gold they mined ended up back at the Central Bank of the Federation of Russia. So what they're doing is they're converting their weak currency, the ruble, into gold. Makes total sense. The limited amount of overhead that they have left of gold, they do sell to China, and recently they made an agreement to sell some into India. And where does that put Russia with the latest gold purchase? Well, at 1,944 tons approximately, just shy of 1944. Fifth largest gold holding a central bank in the world, behind France, Italy, Germany, United States. The IMF has 2,814 tons that they acquired from member states as part of their agreeing to join the IMF. That number hasn't changed. Also of note, Germany's number goes down every year by about 4 tons as they sell gold to their country to make coins. United States number has stayed constant since 1973 or 74. Italy, France, no change. Russia up. China, no change since 2016. Switzerland used to be over 2,000 tons. When they joined the IMF, they shed about 60% of their gold. Since then, they haven't changed their holdings, still at 1,040. Japan hasn't changed at 765. The Netherlands hasn't changed at 613, although they did repatriate some gold, as did Germany, from the United States. And Turkey. These numbers reflect not just what's at the central bank, but other state-owned banks, and they have increased their gold reserves the last 2 years, nudging out India out of the top 10. I want to thank everyone for joining me, and please remember to join me every night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the Smaulgld channel, YouTube channel. We do a live stream every night on a different topic. And also, here's just the Russian holdings of U.S. Treasuries. You can see they're pretty constant, and then boom, there goes the stairs or the elevator down to 14.9 billion. Please consider also becoming a Smaulgld patron and donating a small amount each month. And if you're interested in having your game-changing Smaulgld mug while you listen to these podcasts and live streams, please consider buying one of the Smaulgld mugs. They come with shipping, and there is the Smaulgld Super Classic mug, or you can go for the Smaulgld Classic mug. This one has the Smaulgld logo, taglines on both sides of it, so that is the Smaulgld Classic mug. Thank you very much.